exclusive that we have with an MLA who's really now, in a way, put the chicken in the situation in Manipur, the cat among the pigeons rather, as the centre begins the process for talks with Meitei and Kukis communities. Kuki BJP MLA Paolienlal Haokip has now called for the bifurcation of the state, while the Chief Minister Biren Singh has categorically rejected any such proposal. The BJP MLA now has gone on record saying it's the only way forward in order to restore peace and tranquility in the state. Let's go straight across to Mr. Haokip. The BJP MLA, a Kuki himself, joins me. Mr. Haokip, you have now questioned the way the centre and state have handled the Manipur violence. Are you saying that you don't see the Meitei and Kuki people being able to come together and live together with a healing touch? Are you saying that that is simply not possible anymore?
Well, Rajdeep, thank you for having me. And as I always say, the healing touch would be to recognize the separation and to let allow the two communities live with mutual dignity and mutual respect. Forcing, people together in a bad marriage would not be the right approach at this point.
Now, are you saying, when you say separate state, are you calling for a separate administration for a Kuki community within Manipur? Will this not essentially, are you calling for the breakup of Manipur?
Rajdeep, you cannot want the territory and not want the people, So if you don't want the people, you have no right to claim that the territorial integrity of the state should be preserved. It is only when you show love and justice and the right attitude as leader of the government that you have the moral authority to say such things. Mr. Biren has lost that moral authority.
You are saying Biren Singh has lost the moral authority and that the Chief Minister, are you calling for the Chief Minister to step down? Are you saying he is part of the problem, not the solution, when you say Biren Singh has lost the moral authority?
Whether he steps down or not is not a concern anymore. If he wants to remain as the Chief Minister, let him be the Chief Minister of that part of the state where he still enjoys support. But for the Kuki community, we are aspiring and we are seeking of the central government to recognize the segregation, the separation in the form of a political administrative arrangement, which will not involve Mr. Biren Singh or the government of Manipur no more.
Have you tried, though, Mr. Haokip, to raise this demand that you have for separate statehood? Have you met the Prime Minister and the Home Minister? Because you are a BJP MLA. The Prime Minister has been silent. The Home Minister was in Manipur for 3 days in May. Have you raised it with them as a BJP MLA that Kuki BJP MLAs now want a separate state?
Well, it is understandable because this is a big decision and the center would need some time. And I'm hopeful that the central government, the Union Home Minister as well as the Honorable Prime Minister would recognize the gravity of the situation, the human divide that has been affected under the Biren Singh's leadership, and as citizens of India, would take care of the interest and the aspirations of the Kukis community also.
But sir, you are, as a sitting MLA of Manipur, of the ruling party, calling for the breakup of your own state. I mean, isn't that a big statement to make? Are you saying today to me that Kuki and Meitei communities can't stay together? Both of them have suffered, sir.
No, Rajdeep, we have seen the creation of Telangana, we have seen the creation of Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh. There are less problems there than the one here in Manipur. And if under less demanding or less deserving circumstances, we can accommodate political aspirations of citizens, I think it is only right that the government of India should seriously consider because it is an existential crisis for the Kukis community. We are targeted for annihilation. And you have seen on national television the open threat by the Meitei Lipun chief. It is that kind of arrogance, that kind of attitude that we choose not to live with anymore.
But sir, but there are also Meiteis who have helped Kukis in this time of need. As I said, both communities have been affected. I mean, surely there must be a way to start a dialogue between the two communities, between responsible citizens in civil society and the political leadership. Are you saying that's simply not possible anymore?
In a civil strife situation, there are bound to be casualties and sufferings on both sides. That is understandable. But the kind of narrative maligning the entire Kuki-Jo community based on trumped-up narratives of, illegal immigration, of drug trafficking, of forest encroachment, this kind of negative narrative is rooted in a certain kind of hatred. Now, if in your state, the majority community doesn't count you as people of the state, which you are, then the only alternative, I think, is for the union government to intervene and recognize our aspiration for a separate administration under the Constitution of India so that we can live happily as citizens of India like any other citizen elsewhere.
But let's be clear, sir. Many of these targeting of Kukis, the allegation that you're saying the demonization of Kukis has been done at times by the Chief Minister himself. He has said this is a war against narco-terrorists, this is a war against infiltrators, Kuki chins who are coming from Myanmar. So let's be clear who's making these allegations. The fact is it's the Chief Minister of your own party, you're a BJP MLA, who is saying that the Kukis themselves started this all.
He's been at the head of this hate campaign for quite some time, and his linkage is with the radical militia societies or organizations like the Meitei Lipun and the Arambai Tengal is well known to the country by now. And so, but what I like to put here on record is, Rasdeep, a lot of politics is tried to be played by the opposition in parliament. Let's for once go beyond politics and see the existential threat that the Kukis people are facing today in Manipur. And what is so wrong in protecting a section of the citizens who are being threatened, who are being looked down upon, who are being, so hated that a lot of depravities have been committed on them. In giving them separate.
Were burnt in Churachandpur. The argument that is being made is that that's where the violence started.
The Kuki militant groups are in no way involved as far as the Solidarity March was concerned or anything prior to that. They have no involvement whatsoever. It was the all Tribal Students Union Manipur that had called for the Solidarity March against the High Court judgment. So it has nothing to do with militants. The current narrative of this trouble being a war against narco terrorists, as Mr. Biren calls it, is a narrative to justify the complicity of the state in the violence, nothing else.
You know, you're using again the word complicity of the state in the violence. I repeat, this is a state of which you are part of as a BJP MLA. Do you therefore believe, I come back to that, the removal of Mr. Biren Singh, whom in one way you're holding responsible, will solve the problem? As a BJP leader, are you calling for the removal of your own BJP chief minister?
Rajdeep, sometimes you have to go beyond the party line to look at the problem, because a party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, which I have joined for its decisiveness, for its bold steps for the nation, cannot be appropriated by just Biren Singh and a few others. The party is not all about Biren Singh. I am as much a party member, but truth needs to be spoken within the party also. In fact, I had written to the state president before the troubles broke out, expressing my concerns about the way things are handled, the way things are being run by the chief minister. So within the party also, we have every right to air our differences of opinion. That is the spirit of democracy. Just because the chief minister does something, it doesn't mean that I, as a party MLA, would suit or blindly follow it. I don't believe in that kind
but
of politics.
But as I said, Mr. Haokip, you are talking today of a separate state within Manipur, or a separate state being a solution for Kukis. But, you know, will the Nagas agree to it? They want a greater Nagaland. You've had Naga-Kuki clashes in the past. Will the Metes, who have already made it very clear they will not accept the division of Manipur? Are you simply trying to put pressure on the center? And what happens if the demand that you are calling is not considered? Does the violence simply continue?
Exactly. The demand have been put across by the negotiating team, that is the SO groups that had been engaged with the central government in talks prior to the violence also, and now under a new framework, which is no longer trilateral but bilateral now. They have already put up the demands for separation from Manipur, and we look forward to the central government favorably looking into it and bringing permanent peace in the region, so that the region can also experience the benefits of Indian independence.
But with due regard, sir, tomorrow the Nagas will also then call for a separate state of Greater Nagaland. Groups in Assam will call for Bodoland. Other communities in Tripura, other northeastern states will ask for a separate state. It will open up a Pandora's box.
Even the Nagas have been wanting to separate from Manipur, because, Rajdeep, if you look back at the political history of Manipur, since even before statehood, the constitutional provisions protecting the rights of tribal have been systematically neglected.
Yes, but you know, let me just ask you one last time. If the center doesn't agree to this, if this demand for a separate Kuki state is not considered, are you going to resign from the BJP? Is that an ultimatum in a way that you're offering?
Well, in politics, nothing is off the table, Rajdeep, and we'll cross that bridge when we reach there, because I cannot speak based on speculation. I have a lot of hope, and I'll stick to that hope for now.
Okay, so you have hope that the center will agree to your demand for a separate state. The Manipur chief minister has made it clear that's not on the table. A BJP MLA is now coming out and calling for a separate Kuki state. Remember, he's one of 10 Kuki MLAs who seem to be echoing that demand. Mr. Haokip, for coming and speaking so plainly, calling it a complicity of the state, I appreciate your joining us. You've set the cat among the pigeons.